All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. You ever seen the movie The Matrix? There's the red pill and the blue pill. And the blue pill means you can basically just stay asleep. You can just keep thinking what you've been thinking. Nothing will ever change. And you take the red pill and your eyes are open to everything. So the red pill, almost whenever you hear red pill, it's like it represents the truth. Today, this video is about red pills when it comes to building strength, size, fitness, whatever you want to call it. A bunch of red pills that might be hard to swallow, and it doesn't mean you should give up, but it's pretty much the truth.
So I'm gonna go down swinging, don't you forget. Everything is so boring. Can't get up in the morning.
All right, so number one, genetics play a huge role in the amount of size you can build, the amount of strength you can obtain. It plays a huge role. When you look at Instagram and professional athletes, professional bodybuilders, power lifters, whatever you aspire to be, those guys are the creme de la creme. Their genetics are top tier. They've most likely been doing this from a young age. They maybe respond well to drug use. They respond well to training. Their muscle fibers are all where they should be for whatever sport they undertake. That doesn't mean you should give up, but you should just understand, especially if you've been doing this for a couple of years, that if you haven't obtained a certain level of strength, size, whatever, you're most likely not destined to be the best of the best. Should you stop trying? Absolutely not. You know, if you're 24 years old and your goal has always been to make it to the NFL, it's probably a bit too late for you. Not to say you can't play semi-pro or professional football in other leagues, but the top leagues are probably not going to be for you. Just like if you're bodybuilding or powerlifting, will you set world records and become Mr. Olympia one day? Probably not. But can you still win local shows or just a slight level down? Can you still aspire to be a somewhat competitive bodybuilder or powerlifter? Maybe. I'm not going to say no to that, but to be the top creme de la creme, it's probably not going to happen. Because genetics basically set certain limits, but your mindset and consistency still plays a very powerful role. Many people fall short of their potential, keyword potential, not because of poor genetics, but because of lack of consistency, subpar diet, unstructured random workouts. So focusing on what you can control is a better approach to just do what I just said. Oh, I don't have top tier genetics, I'm just not going to do it at all. So focus on things like proper form, progressive overload, nutrition, and those will help you give you noticeable results and surpass someone with maybe subpar or average genetics. So elite genetics are a rarity. The journey towards maximizing what you have is a better approach than worry about you might not make it to the top. All right, truth number two. Most physiques you see on social media are going to be heavily edited. Now that AI is about and it's getting sharper with things, even more so. But even just the days of Photoshop and lighting and filters and all that stuff, even then, the physiques are still heavily edited. There's certain people that have made their waists smaller, their shoulders pop. I know very little about Photoshop. I know to do what I know I need to do for thumbnails and other pictures like that. However, the basics that I know, all you have to do is go on YouTube, how to make yourself look more muscular on Photoshop. I know how to splice a person out. You can just ever so slightly enhance the shoulders, the necks, the traps, your biceps, just enough to make it look real. Now, I remember when women always used to like smudge the background, make their asses look bigger, but then the background would also get all distorted. Like, all you have to do is do a quick YouTube search and you will figure out how to avoid problems like that. So don't compare yourself to physiques online. Those pictures have been heavily modified. Pay attention to accounts that prioritize transparency. I'm not saying pay attention to accounts where people look like crap because they're being more honest, but when someone is more transparent, their knowledge seems to hold a little bit more weight because you understand that they're going through like honest business practices as opposed to just using Photoshop pictures to lure you in. Pay attention to people that post ups and downs of fitness. If someone is at their peak strength, peak size, peak ability year round, they're either blasting really hard or they're lying through their teeth. If you look at my workouts, all my workout vlogs, not all of them are spectacular. I even say in my workout vlogs, hey, some shit is not feeling good right now. Hey, I'm feeling stagnant. I am being open and honest, and I think some of you appreciate that based on the comments I see, because no one, absolutely no one, is going to be having mind-blowing workouts 365 days of the year. I'm not advising against finding inspiration online, although you should limit the amount that you are. But look for accounts that align with your goals and values, not just what they look like. And I'll honestly go a step further. If someone's honest about their drug use, that's probably a good thing, because at least you can discern. I still don't understand how people in 2024 can't tell if someone's taking steroids or not. Whether they say no or yes, we are at a point in time, I can safely say without doing any polls, any research, where the most amount of people in the world are taking steroids. The drug use is at its highest it's been right now. You have kids, teenagers, taking tren at 16. Are you kidding me? So if they're doing that, I think it's safe to say we'd entered like a steroid era for the average person, not just professional bodybuilder. Truth number 3. Okay, you can either have size or you can be lean, especially if you're natural. Actually, I would say only if you're natural. If you're blasting pretty hard, you can achieve both of those. But if you are natural, if you want to look bigger, you're going to have to be a little bit more fluffy. If you want to be lean, you're going to have to accept that you're going to look a little bit more smaller, especially in clothes. So this is the trade-off. And you have to understand what your goals are at the time. Make choices based on your lifestyles, your goals, and your priorities. If you prioritize performance, you're going to want to focus on functional strength, and a bit more mass might take you a long way. But you might need a higher body fat percentage to make up for that increased performance. On the other hand, if aesthetics and you maybe want to be a little bit smaller, a little bit leaner, maybe a little bit faster, you're going to have to lose some body fat and you're going to appear smaller. So it's all about prioritizing priorities and adjusting your goals to whatever you need at the time, rather than always trying to look lean, always trying to look jacked, always trying to be the jack of all trades and the master of them as well. It's just impossible. So there's no one size fits all approach. You decide how lean you want to be, how big you want to be, how you feel. That's going to be the most important. But if you're natural, you're not going to be the biggest, the strongest, and the leanest all at the same time. It just won't happen. Truth number 4. This one's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. You're going to make most of your gains according to muscle size, assuming you're training correctly, in your first 3 to 5 years of lifting. Now, keyword, I said most. I didn't say all of your gains. So in the first 5 years, if you've made 75% of the muscle gains you're going to make, let's say that's 20 pounds of muscle from when you first picked up a weight. Maybe you have another 20 more to go, but that might take 10 years, okay? So in 15 years, you might have added 40 pounds of muscle, but half of it was put in the first third of your year. So there's a point of diminishing returns. Your workouts are going to get harder as you get more advanced. They don't get easier. Your mindset just gets stronger, so the workouts feel easier. But if you look at what you were doing when you first started compared to what you're doing now, it's probably crazy the amount of weight, the amount of sets, the amount of less rest you need. All these little things play a factor into your workouts becoming harder, because you have to work harder the more gains you want over time, whether it's size or strength. There's some professional powerlifters that will spend a year hammering workouts, being super diligent, programming everything to the utmost degree, putting so much intensity into their workouts, all to gain 10 pounds in 365 days. That might sound crazy to beginners. In beginners, they might be able to put that on in 2-3 weeks, maybe even 1 week. You're going to have to work harder as you get older in your training age, as your weights get up, as your body weight gets up. It takes more work to get higher in whatever athletic quality you are trying to achieve. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the God honest truth. So just accepting this reality can reduce the frustration over time and just encourage you to focus on the process. Strength, endurance, mobility, any measure of progress you're thinking of. So many advanced lifters find new motivation by shifting their attention to areas like maybe improving their form so their form can be more efficient, building endurance so hard sets don't crush them, or just getting into like new skills. Like if you're a power lifter, maybe start doing some ring work with chin-ups, dips, things like that. Building strength in new ways. Don't just think about the big three. Think of how other exercises can help your big three and your powerlifting goals. Because these new exercises, you're going to be able to make a lot more progress on them because they are new to you. So recognize that fitness is a well-rounded approach. It's not just muscle, it's not just strength, there's so many other things. So this can allow you to make these tiny little PRs, these short-term PRs, as you're trying to approach long-term PRs, which will keep you in the game, keep you interested, and not get you discouraged. And then focus on maintenance. Think about it this way. I can't remember who I heard said this, but they've been able to bench 405 for 20 years. That's crazy to have that type of longevity. So just think of, hey, I'm not getting stronger, but I'm getting older. My physical fitness should be going down, but for some reason, I'm not letting it. That's a goal all in itself. That's sometimes something I have to remind myself to help myself keep going. I don't think my audience is dumb enough for this one, but I'm going to say it anyway. Number 5, truth number 5. Supplements are not magic. As a matter of fact, supplements are shit. Okay, most supplements are complete garbage, especially if they have a name. Magnesium, creatine, vitamin D, zinc, things like that are great. Those are vitamins and minerals. I'm talking about supplements. Supplements. Things like, I'm not throwing any companies under the bus, but like pre-workouts, NO Explode, Jacked, things like that. They're not magic. Do they work? To an extent. But they're not magic. They're not going to revolutionize your training. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like it's mainly teenagers and noobs think, oh my God, this is the missing piece. This is what is going to turn my 135-pound bench into a 315-pound bench. This is the secret I've been missing the whole time. And that can't be further from the truth. The supplement industry, they market really aggressive. They, like I said, use Photoshop pictures of models, and they target new lifters who don't really have the solid understanding of what truly drives muscle growth, strength, fat loss, anything. So you have to learn to distinguish between things that are essential and things that are extra, because this can save you both time and money. So instead of chasing a shortcut, aim to put your energy into resources that are actually going to help. So consistency, nutrition, adequate rest, things like that, things that are going to help you recover. So a solid foundation and understanding of the basics will get you far further than some hyped up new supplement that is apparently the cool kid on the street all of a sudden. So, but when you do buy supplements, make sure you do your due diligence, make sure you do some research. Don't go on the company's website. Obviously that's there to get more customers. Do a YouTube search, do a Google search. My best bet is just honestly don't buy anything at all. It'll save you time, it'll save you money, it'll save you frustration. Most supplements are placebo. They tell you they're supposed to work this way, so your brain convinces you, hey, this is working. All right, truth number 6, the desire for improvement. So your goals will always evolve. My goals used to be powerlifting over everything, and then I changed my goals. My life evolved. I started doing martial arts, and I realized, hey, there's more to life than putting all my energy into a squat, bench, and deadlift, especially since I wasn't competing anymore. That's when I realized, hey, my 1 rep max squat doesn't really matter. Same with my bench, same with my deadlift. Those will go up over time, but there's so many other exercises I can be doing to build strength, to build size, to build anything, really, because my goals are my goals. Don't compare yourself to a certain subset of goals. Like, I'm not going to compare myself to Larry Wheels' powerlifting numbers because, like I said, he's the best of the best. Don't worry about never being enough with whatever your goal is. So I don't want to deadlift 750 pounds anymore. Would it be cool if I could? Yes, but I understand I have so many other areas I need to improve on that I don't think getting to that 750 pound deadlift will do anything for me. Every PR I've ever hit, I feel the same right after. It's like, wow, okay, I did that. Your life doesn't change, especially if it's not done in a competition. So I feel like most people naturally over time start prioritizing, like, let's say, functional goals. Like, how well does your body feel when it moves? How can you sprint? Can you touch your toes? Like, things like that. Because when you go strength and size over everything, you're like really handicapping yourself with a lot of other athletic qualities. Realize that there's things that come with that performance related goals that might give you mental edge over just going, oh, do I have abs? Oh, can I hold on to 500 plus pounds on my back? Reflecting on progress and reminding yourself how far you've come as opposed to, oh, I can't improve this and I can't improve that. I can't put an extra 5 pounds on my squat this month. I can't deadlift as much as I did last week, even though you've added 400 pounds to your deadlift from when you first started. Celebrate each milestone, but don't get caught up on the milestones that you have yet to accomplish. Like I said earlier in the video, have little mini goals you can check off while you're still trying to approach these big PRs. Here's a big one, and that's why I saved it for last. Your physical appearance and your strength will not change your happiness. I know people think, oh, if I could just get really jacked, if I could just get really strong, I'm gonna feel like a new person. However, when you set these milestones so high, such as like say 700-pound squat, 700-pound deadlift, 500-pound bench, you're setting them so high, and that's gonna take you decades. If you wanna be 240 with abs, like you're setting those goals so high that it's maybe you will never achieve them. And what does that mean? You're never going to be happy. So don't attach your happiness to these goals, because some people make their goals way too high to attain. And what, are you never going to be happy? Like I just said, like you're just going to say, hey, if I don't hit those goals, I'm not happy. But if I do hit those goals, I will be. No, you have to either lower your expectations or realize that those goals will not make you happy. Like I just said in the previous, the first time I deadlifted 500 pounds, sure, I was happy, but after 45 seconds, it kind of wore off, and I was like, okay, now what's the next goal? And that sounds like a good thing. However, you have to realize that don't attach these emotions to your PRs, because it's almost like a recipe for disaster. So this point, it just underscores the importance of a balanced life. If you're not competing in anything, if you're not getting paid to do anything, don't attach emotion to these goals. Fitness is supposed to complement other areas of your life. It's supposed to help you as you get older and age. It's supposed to make you feel more confident, but it shouldn't do the exact opposite. So the discipline and commitment that you develop through fitness, those are qualities that you're going to pick up along the way. Though that's what can extend to other parts of your life, and that's what can end up making you happy. It can help you with your relationships, your career, your personal growth, whatever you want to say. Working on your physique is definitely beneficial, but don't attach your whole identity and your whole life to it. What's beneficial in life is meaningful connections with other people, having personal passions, having a community that surrounds you, that uplifts you. And this will give you the deeper sense of well-being. Not having abs at 240, I'll be perfectly honest. I look at a lot of people that lift weights and they look depressed as fuck. Okay? They don't look like they're happy because they're the strongest person in the world. They don't look happy because they're big and jacked. Like, I'd say most people that get into lifting weights do it as a form of, like, let's say, trauma almost. I see jokes all the time. It's like breakups in men lead to people in the gym, which is good if it benefits you. But if you're constantly depressed working out, eek, that doesn't sound good either. Those are just some red pill truths. Let's just call them truths. I hate the term red pill. Those are just some truths that if you accept them earlier on, you're probably going to be better off. So if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day.